The Nagant M1895. This is an unusual revolver and was particularly unusual when it entered service in 1895. The revolver features a gas seal system. When a Nagant 1895 is cocked, the cylinder moves forward, closing the gap between the cylinder and barrel. This feature, along with the cartridge design, completes a gas seal and ostensibly increases muzzle velocity by upwards of 150 feet a second. This feature also allows the weapon to effectively use a suppressor. The gun is featured in the 2009 Sherlock Holmes movie, where Sherlock is attempting to invent such a device, though seems to have some work left to do. The Nagant is strongly associated with Russian and Soviet armies, first adopted by Russia in 1895. However, the revolver was adopted in variants by Belgium, Luxembourg, Norway, Poland, Serbia, and Sweden, though in much smaller numbers. The Russians and Soviets used the bulk of the approximately 2 million produced, with some limited numbers still in use by auxiliary Russian law enforcement and security units. Yeah. The revolver was also in limited use into the 2000s by many former Soviet Union countries, including Ukraine. Its lengthy service life of over 120 years makes it one of the longest-serving sidearms in history. Russians would have carried the pistol during the Boxer Rebellion of 1899, and you can almost bet someone is carrying one in the Russian invasion of Ukraine. Likewise, the revolver has had a significant movie presence, appearing in Soviet-Russian movies all the way back to the early 1900s. This Nagant was designed by Leon Nagant. Leon and his brother Emil founded E&L Nagant in 1859. The Nagant name became famous when Emil helped to design, along with Sergei Mosin, the Mosin Nagant. Emil Nagant began developing the rifle in the 1880s. Due to the success of the rifle, the Nagant brothers were called on to design a new revolver for Russia. Russia was in need of replacing their Smith & Wesson models, such as the Model 3. Production began in the hometown of the Nagant brothers in Liège, Belgium. Manufacturing would be transferred to Russia in 1898, where the Tula arsenal began producing 20,000 units a year. During early production, the revolver came in both double-action and single-action versions. The cheaper single-action versions were issued to lower ranks. After the Russian Revolution, only double-action versions were manufactured. M1895s were used in the Russian Revolution, notably to kill the Russian Imperial family and staff in July of 1918. It is highly probable the gun was used to kill more Soviets and Russians in the enforcement role versus a combat role, and with a massive 20-pound trigger pull, you can be sure the kills were deliberate. The revolver would continue production up until the end of World War II in 1945. During World War II, Tokarev semi-automatic pistols took over in popularity, which began slowly replacing M1895 starting in 1933. In 1952, the Makarov would formally replace both, but the three would remain in use together, as older service small arms tend to get shuffled into auxiliary use for decades after replacement. One motivation to replace the Nagant M1895 included its ammunition, which was not used by any other standard Soviet pistols or submachine guns. The 7.62 Nagant rimmed cartridge was used in a few experimental submachine guns, like the Tokarev Model 1927, but nothing mass-produced. The cartridge of the M1895 played an important role in the gun's sealing, preventing the escape of propellant gases. Here you can see how the 7.62 Nagant compares to other cartridges. The Nagant bullet is seated below the mouth of the cartridge, with the cartridge crimped above the bullet. When fired, the crimp expands into the forcing cone, creating a seal. The forcing cone is the rear entrance of the barrel where the bullet transitions from the cylinder to the barrel. The gas seal process starts when the hammer is cocked, which turns the cylinder and then moves it forward to press against the barrel, eliminating any gap. This also adds a layer of safety to the revolver, as gas or blast pressure is less likely to come near a user's fingers. The biggest downside of the 1895 was that it was time-consuming to reload. each cartridge is manually ejected, and reloading is done one cartridge at a time through a loading gate. By the time the 1895 began full production, revolvers with swing-out cylinders and top-break cylinders with more efficient ejection systems were being produced.
Mr. Leahy?
Alright, I'm Johnny. Thanks for watching. I hope you had a gas, and if the video meets with your seal of approval, give a like and all that jazz. Do take care, and have a nice rest of your day.